You've got a business idea. You've had it for months, maybe longer. But every time you sit down to do something about it, you hit the same wall. You don't know how to code, you can't afford a developer, and the no-code tools you've tried feel like they were built for kindergartners. So the idea sits there, collecting dust. And meanwhile, someone else, somewhere, ships that exact product and starts making $4,000 a month while you're still watching tutorials. That stops today. Welcome back to Venture Void. If you're new here, this channel exists for one type of person: the solo founder, the small operator, the person building something real without a team, without venture capital, and without a CS degree. Today we're going into full depth on something that changed the entire economics of software entrepreneurship in 2025 and has gone completely mainstream in 2026. It's called Vibecoding. And by the end of this video, you will have a clear, step-by-step picture of how to go from blank page to deployed, paying customer-ready MicroSaaS in a single weekend, using AI as your development team. Let's start with the actual problem, because it's worth naming precisely. Building software used to require one of three things: years of technical skill, $10,000 to $50,000 to hire a developer, or a co-founder you'd have to split equity with forever. For most solo founders, all three of those were dead ends. Freelancers on Upwork charge between $40 and $150 an hour for competent full-stack work. A basic functional SaaS, user authentication, a dashboard, a payment integration, a core feature, historically took 4 to 6 weeks of development time, at minimum. You do that math and you're looking at $15,000 to $40,000 before you've made a single dollar. That's not a business, that's a gamble. The result was a massive graveyard of ideas that never became products. Not because the ideas were bad, because the barrier was too high. And the people who could build, built. Everyone else watched. Here's what changed. In 2025, AI code generation crossed the threshold. Tools like Cursor, Bolt, Replit Agent, and V0 by Vercel stopped being novelties and became genuinely capable development environments. By 2026, the workflow that professional developers call Vibecoding, where you describe what you want in plain English and the AI writes, debugs, and iterates the actual code, works well enough that non-technical founders are shipping real, monetizable products, not toy projects. Products with Stripe integrations, user logins, databases, and recurring revenue. Here's the exact process. You start on Friday night. Your first job is not to build anything. Your first job is to validate the problem with surgical precision. Open ChatGPT or Claude and run what's called a problem interview prompt. You type something like, "I want to build a SaaS tool for freelance graphic designers that automates client onboarding." List the 10 most painful manual steps in a freelance designer's client workflow, then rank them by frequency and emotional cost. You're using AI to simulate customer discovery that would normally take weeks of interviews. You're not skipping validation, you're compressing it. From that output, you pick one problem. One. The most painful, most frequent, most specific one. For example, freelance designers spend 45 minutes per new client manually creating project briefs, sending questionnaires, and following up. That's your product. An automated client brief generator with a shareable link and automatic follow-up. Simple, specific, painful. Now you go to V0 by Vercel. This is a free tool, and there's a paid tier at $20 a month if you need more generations. You type a description of your UI, a clean SaaS dashboard for freelance designers, left sidebar with navigation. Main area shows a list of client projects. Each project has a status badge, a last updated date, and a button that says Generate Brief. Light mode with a professional font. V0 generates a complete React component with real code. You didn't write a single line. You have a working interface. Saturday morning, you take that into Cursor, which is an AI-powered code editor. Cursor costs $20 a month for the Pro plan. You paste your V0 components in and start adding logic. You type in the chat panel, add user authentication using Supabase. When a user signs up, create a new row in a client's table in the database. Cursor writes the code. It imports the libraries. It connects to your Supabase project, which is free up to 500 megabytes and 50,000 monthly active users. You follow the instructions it generates. You're not reading documentation, you're having a conversation. By Saturday afternoon, you add your core feature. You prompt Cursor. When the user clicks Generate Brief, send the client's name, project type, and budget to the OpenAI API and return a structured creative brief formatted in sections. Display it on screen and allow the user to copy it or send it directly to the client via email. The AI writes the API call. It writes the prompt structure. It writes the email function using Resend, which has a free tier. You test it, it works. Saturday evening, you add payments. You go into Cursor and type Integrate Stripe. Create a subscription plan for $19 per month. Only allow users with an active subscription to generate briefs. Redirect new users to a checkout page. Stripe's documentation is so well structured that AI models trained on it produce nearly perfect integration code on the first or second try. Your Stripe account is free to create. They take 2.9% plus 30 cents per transaction. No monthly fee until you're charging customers. Sunday morning is deployment. You push your code to GitHub, which is free. You connect your GitHub repo to Vercel, also free for hobby tier. You point a custom domain at it. Domains cost $10 to $15 a year on Namecheap or Porkbun. You test the full flow. New user lands on your page, sees the product, creates an account, hits the Stripe paywall, pays $19, gets access, generates a brief, gets it emailed to their client, end to end. Functional, real. Sunday afternoon is your go-to-market. You find 3 or 4 Reddit communities where freelance designers hang out. Our graphic design, our freelance, our designer. You post something genuine and specific, not a pitch. A post that describes the problem you solved and mentions you built something to fix it. If even 2 or 3 people sign up, you've validated the market with real money. $19 times 2 is $38. That's not retirement money, but it's proof. Now let's talk about what this workflow actually replaces, because the economics here are significant. It replaces a developer, obviously, saving you anywhere from $15,000 to $80,000 depending on the complexity. It replaces a designer at $2,000 to $5,000 for a basic UI. It replaces a project manager. It replaces months of iteration cycles that would have killed your momentum. Your total spend for a weekend build using this stack, Cursor Pro, V0 paid tier, Supabase free, Stripe free, Vercel free, one domain, is roughly $50. Compare that to the old model, $50 against $50,000. That's the actual revolution, and MicroSaaS economics are compelling at this price point. If you charge $19 a month and acquire just 50 customers, not 500, 50, that's $950 in monthly recurring revenue. 95 customers puts you past $1,800 a month. 200 customers is $3,800 a month. All of that from a product you built in 48 hours for $50. Serving a niche that larger companies will never bother with because it's too small for them. Now the catch, and I'm not going to sugarcoat this, because this channel doesn't do that. Vibecoding works extraordinarily well for small, well-defined problems. It starts to struggle at complexity. If you're building something with intricate custom logic, real-time multiplayer features, or enterprise-level security requirements, AI-generated code will hit walls. You'll get bugs you don't understand well enough to fix. You'll get outputs that work but aren't scalable. The workflow I just described is genuinely powerful for a focused MicroSaaS. One core feature, one audience, one clear workflow. It is not a replacement for a senior engineer building something with deep technical architecture. Know the difference before you start. The other catch is distribution. The build is the easy part now. Getting your first 100 customers is still hard. Vibecoding compressed the supply side of software. It did not compress the demand side. You still have to show up, create content, talk to users, run ads, or build in public. The product is just your entry ticket, not your guarantee. But here's the thing, 3 years ago, that entry ticket cost $50,000 and 6 months of your life. Today it costs a weekend and $50. The floor dropped out of the old model, and for the solo founder who actually has a specific problem, a specific audience, and the willingness to sit down and do the work, this is the most leveled playing field in the history of software entrepreneurship. If that kind of thinking is what you're here for, subscribe to Venture Void. We go deep on AI tools, automation stacks, and the real mechanics of building lean, profitable businesses. New video drops every week, no fluff, just signal.